is Jasmine Jones, and I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl Therapists in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary Season 4, Episode 3, Class Pet. And we are sipping on grape soda and absinthe. Oh, God. How y'all doing? Well, this episode was interesting because, we never had class pets when I was a kid. I mean, no, we had class pets, but, we couldn't take them home. I only thought they did that in movies and in little white schools. I grew up in diverse institutions. And, yeah. But it does remind me of this Adam Sandler movie that came on Netflix, right? This is a cartoon. It's so cute. And just let me caveat this. I hope Adam Sandler is not a Zionist. I hope that he's just a nice, friendly Jewish man that does silly things and makes you laugh. And, stuff like that. Because, people, you just find shit out and you just be like, wow. Like this week, I read an article. That movie Borat? With Sacha Baron Cohen. So apparently Sacha Baron Cohen is a whole Zionist, and the whole movie of Borat was making fun of Palestinians, like the old country people that he came from. That was supposed to be the Palestinians, the people that were shitting on themselves and fucking their sisters and doing all this random horrible shit. And that was like my go-to movie when I was in college to laugh and just chill out with. And I just feel bamboozled. This was like watching some Nazi propaganda and shit back in the 40s, and you just didn't know you was watching it or some shit. Because I was just like, you mean to tell me? No, niggas was wearing his little yellow strappy banana costume. He was like a whole movement when that set off that nigga's career, and then he made a sequel to it, bitch. So no, I gotta caveat shit, cause that shit fucked me up, because you bamboozling motherfuckers had me laughing, guffawing, watching multiple times. I'm so upset. Some fucking Nazi propaganda type shit. I'm so upset. I am so bothered just thinking about it. It's just in my innocent youth. But even then, I wasn't looking this shit up. I wasn't trying to find out what this shit was about. I just thought, this is this funny white man, being silly. So no, I like to caveat shit now, because these niggas will creep up on you and make you and entertain you with some bullshit. And you won't find out that you was being entertained with some bullshit until years later, when all the shit hit the fan and you just like, oh shit. He was making fun of the Palestinian peoples the whole fucking move. Every old country nigga in that bitch was supposed to be they're over there burning them people babies. So I'm going to caveat, I hope he's not a Zionist. I hope he's just, a friendly Jewish man that, makes you laugh and gives you joy and has a happy life with him and his family and his children. He's just a regular person that ain't sitting up here contemplating genocide and charbroiling babies and shit, But anyway, so it's Adam Sandler movie right on Netflix. It's so cute. So Adam Sandler plays this class pet. He's it's called Leo. And he plays this class pet, and he's like a lizard. And he can talk to the kids. It's like Toy Story. The animals can talk to the kids, but they just decide not to talk to the kids because, I don't know. And then he find out that he might be dead in the next couple years or something, because lizards only live, he found out his species only live to be 100 something, and he's almost 100 something or whatever the fuck. So anyways, he start talking to the kids. That's they take him home as they pet for the weekend, and he just start giving the kids therapy and shit and fixing their lives. And I'm just like, look at him helping these babies. So that's what this shit made me think about. It made me think about that movie. What if these animals, you take them home, and they help the children? They can talk to the children. They can't. Let me. Oh God. No, because I was mad at this nigga with his rock and shit in this bitch. But I know I'm Elmo to this shit, nigga. Like, Rocco's a rock, honey. But no, like, look at me. See, that's why she catered to it, because it's not about the object of affection. It's about the validating of the emotions around the object, bitch. And that's all you're doing when you love somebody. It's just, their happiness is so cute, and you just want them to be happy, and they're just droning on about some shit that you could give two fucking shits about, and they just look so happy, and you just take that and you just listen to it, and you just enjoy their happiness and shit. But anyway, so they got these. First, they got the new computers, and it was funny when the computers were delivered. Some little neighborhood hoodlum, whatever dude, stole 4 computers, then gonna try to bring them back and sell them back to them like he's a dummy. Oh no, I don't like dumb criminals. Like, it's bad enough that you're gonna be a criminal, don't be a dumb criminal and shit. Like, you're risking your freedom to do this thing. So if we're gonna risk our freedom to do this thing, then we need to have self-worth enough to make sure we do it right. But they don't, because if you're doing criminal stuff, obviously you don't have enough self-worth. So So he says, and then Barbara goes, Jaquan something. And he's like, you put them things back now. She put the squeak on the top of the put them things back. And I was just like, yeah, she went into the whole black mama shit. When you put the squeak on it, that's when you better listen. You better listen. So Janine wanted this after school program situation from the district. They're not paying for that, honey. But they gave her $50 to get pets for each classroom. And I'm just like, no, because she's walking around here talking about the guinea pigs for $4. And I'm just like, what fucking pet store has guinea pigs for $4? The last time I went to Petco, them guinea pigs were at least $50 to $100. What are you talking, honey? What are you talking about? Like, what back alley pet store did you just go to get these animals for these multiple classes? Like, maybe the fish, but even the magenta fish that Barbara had, that sound like some exotical type shit. Like, that shit, it was at least 10, 20. Girl, whatever. But most of the people got fish. And then her and Melissa got guinea pigs because they had a 2-buy-1 get 1 free special. So both guinea pigs for $4. Whatever, bitch. We're going to follow along with the lies and the bullfuckery. Anyways, Gregory has his rock, right? He has a pet rock, and he had a pet rock when he was a child. And he's just so excited about his pet rock that he used to talk to as a child when he lived in his emotionally abusive household with his dad and shit. And I was just like, oh, shit. I was like, I was with Janine. I was like, oh, And this nigga got the audacity when it was in the teacher's lounge to be like, when Melissa said the hamster, the gerbil, whatever the fuck the thing was, died, right? He goes, see, you should have got a pet rock. I feel like these children are really growing a connection to the rock. And I'm just like, girl, these kids is making fun of you because when they go to recess and they go to lunch, all them other kids is talking about how they get to feed that class animal and how they get to pet the class. No, this is like when you're in elementary school, the middle schoolers probably don't give a shit. But when you're in elementary school, this is like big news. Like, all the classes got animals. They're going to be talking about this for at least a week. And they get bored of it. And so these kids is out there talking about how they get to do all this stuff with their class. And then, the kids in Gregory's class, well, we get to look at the rock and we get to touch them, but not too much touching because, Mr. Gregory gets a little upset if you touch the rock too much. And I'm just looking at Gregory like, really, Gregory, they're growing a connection. They see how emotional you are about this thing. And kids have empathy enough to be like, oh, we don't want to hurt his feelings that this shit is dumb. And there's probably like one other kid in there, like one autistic motherfucking kid that's just like, they love the rock just like Gregory loved the rock. And I'm just like, Rocco's a rock. No, because maybe that's my neurodivergency shit. I'm just like, this isn't not, why are we treating an inanimate object like it's real? But you know what? you know, this is illustrating how sometimes you need to accept these quirks and these motherfucking people that you try to be with. It don't hurt nobody that he likes pet rocks and shit. I just want to make sure that, you know, how much more things do you talk to or that you like interact with that don't talk back to you, Gregory? I would just ask that question. I was like, is this like the only inanimate object thing? Like, are you aware that the rock is inanimate? Just let me know if you're aware of it. Because if you're not aware of the rock, I just need to know that you're aware that this is not a living being creature. Like, you just no, because imagination is one thing, but like this is like, you know, I just need to really know if it's your imagination. I just need you to tell me just real quick that you know that this is not a living creature. This is an inanimate object. Well, anyways, like Melissa gets all close to her gerbil animal situation, and she trying to lie and act like she not close to the animal, and like Janine falling for the okie doke because she got anxiety and ain't paying attention to the fact that the bitch bought gourmet hay for this thing. Like, this is not the kids telling her to do. She bought a little mini house for the thing. Janine over here like, you know, I guess I just still make rookie mistakes. I'm just like, girl, get your shit together. It's not that your emotions is at a 10. This is a 2.5 situation. Like, this ain't about you, girl. She sat up there. You could already tell she was in love with that animal. You know. Maybe I just be thinking too much, and other people don't think past their emotions and shit and actually see what's going on in front of them and shit. Like, you know, I had to work my way here though, so she ain't there yet. This character here ain't there yet. So she's just like, oh, and then like Melissa just complaining in front of everybody, but over here coddling this thing and loving on it, and so basically she gonna tell the kids like, so first what happened was, so the kid's supposed to take it home for the weekend, so she finds that out. Then she finds out who the first kid is. It's this kid over here knifing between his fingers and shit. Talking about, I don't feel pain. Does gerbils feel pain? And then Melissa just looking at him like, what are you talking about? And I just be sitting here when I be seeing the kids on the show just do some off shit occasionally. And I just be like, where are the school-based therapists? Like, usually, like, you know, nonprofit, you know, community service organizations will contract with school districts so that if for the kids that have Medi-Cal or state, you know, funded health insurance, they will send those kids therapists from the district to work with them in school. Now, no, there's not enough therapists for each kid, but at the rate that they're sending them out, like, a lot of these kids don't even want therapy. Their parents don't want them to have therapy, so a lot of them get turned down. So there's enough to go around based on how many kids end up with a contract in the office to have therapy. And so I just be looking at these kids. I'm like, where's the school-based? Like, why can't we have a reoccurring character that's a school-based therapist? The adults aren't getting therapy, obviously. So, like, can we at least, you know, shit, I'll be on that motherfucker. That stupid ass be on set trying to find places to do self-portraits and shit, not even paying attention to what I'm supposed to be doing. No, that's what I do. Like, that's what my art is. I do self-portraits and shit. I've been doing that shit since I was 15. And every time I go to an interesting, pretty place, I always, like, that's my hyperfixation. I be like, that would be pretty to pose in. That would be pretty to pose in, too. So, yeah, it's a thing. It's a fixation. Leave me alone. Like, if I ever got on a movie set, I'll just be, like, trying to find breaks so I can take pictures of myself. And then either I'll be doing that or I'll be trying to calculate how much money they're trying to give me so I can pay some bills and put some money in my savings account and buy me a new motherfucking computer. When that bitch said that was a 14th generation such and such processor, I was like, I want a new computer. No, because I be doing like self-portrait videos and shit, and I be like trying to edit them and stuff, and then it just crashes. Like, it just... I'm gonna get a new computer though, I am. But like, if anybody wants to fund my computer fund so I can make pretty self portraits. You can Cash App or Venmo me at Rose ROSE 54678. No, for real. Like this shit ain't paying me no money. Apparently, you have to get consistent views. That doesn't happen, but I just do it for shits and giggles, anyways. But if anybody wants to send me Rose at Rose 54678, Cash App, Venmo, ROSE 54678, all one. The numbers are numbers and shit. Because but that's what I would be thinking about if I was ever on a movie set or doing some stuff for some quick money and shit that's artsy and shit, is where can I take pretty pictures of myself at, and how much money am I getting on this bitch so that I can buy some shit that I need and pay off some bills and put some money in my savings account. Like literally, that's all I would be thinking about. But no, like if I just wish they would get somebody to play like a school-based therapist for these kids. Just come in like once a week and shit and just, help the children, think and be emotive and work through shit and stuff like that. And it would be, and like they showing all this other stuff about like, society and gentrification and when the charter school moved in and shit like that. That would be a cool little thing to show, like, because a lot of people don't know that schools are contracted, like school districts are contracted with nonprofit agencies, and if you go to the school counselor and say that, and you have like Medi-Cal or you have like a state funded insurance company, you can get like free therapy services from the school. Like I don't know if outside of California they do it, so maybe that's why we don't see that on here. But like no, like that would be an awesome character. Like that's what, because this child is over here stabbing between his fingers talking about, do guinea pigs feel pain? Like that's not, why would it matter if they felt pain? Like you don't want to do things to hurt the animal to test it, do you? Like obviously you need to talk to somebody, little child. And so that freaks Melissa out, and so she tell the kids the guinea pig is dead and then takes the guinea pig home. And then like Janine finds out because Jacob's big mouth and shit. I just feel like, let her have a guinea pig. Like what's the problem? He took it from the kids. Well, they can hang out with Mr. Gregory's class with the rock and shit, and they both can just have nothing. No, that she loved that little animal. She was getting her whole little Snow White on and shit. I just, Sleeping Beauty and shit on and shit with the animals, playing with them and shit. I was just like, see, she's learning shit about herself. So she takes it home, but then Janine find out. So the next day, Janine all up in her face, talking about, trying to be a detective or some shit, and Gregory just looking at her like, hey, you just tell her what the problem is. And so Janine threatens that if she don't bring the guinea pig back, that she gonna tell the class that the guinea pig's alive and let Melissa do it. So Melissa gets a little pep talk from Gregory. See, he basically tells her what she told him when he needed a pep talk. See, the youth are reminding us who we are. That's what the youth are supposed to do. They're supposed to remind us who we are and shit. Like, no, keep it simple. Like, love yourself. They be saying the simplest, smartest shit sometimes. And so, like, she just brings it back and tries to trust the children to not kill this animal. And then we got the other plot where basically we got a little young Shamar looking ass nigga coming in. He the IT tech nigga, and I was just like, hey, Shamar, his name is O'Shawn, but I was calling him O'Shaughnessy, Shamar. I was like, you cute and shit. Like, so he coming. So basically, they have to set up the computers with the school programming, so like the kids don't just go on the internet and watch porn at school. They need all the locks, all the programming, all the little school games they be putting on the computers and shit like that. So anyways, like he up in there, he trying to retool the computer, but slowly but surely he finds out that the computers are not something that the district is aware of. So the district, you can't just get free computers like that. Like the district needs to know where they're from, and 9 times out of 10, apparently the district ain't gonna accept you getting free computers or some shit. I don't fucking know. So anyways, he's going up. And And then like Jacob like try to flirt with him, and he's just like, like, ew. And I'm just like, Jacob, he don't like dick, or at the very least he don't like your dick, honey. Like, get the fuck off this nigga. Oh god. And so anyways, he going around fixing the computers up and shit, and low-key flirting with Ava, and Ava's a me. Like, you flirt, I don't know that you flirt with me, nigga. And then he's nice and shit, so like she's put off by his niceness, because niggas, love bombing and kindness look the same, and the type of niggas Ava been around bringing on and shit, they look like they some love bombers and some bullshitters and shit. So I don't know her experiences, but it seemed like her experiences have been some bullshit. So she's either not catching on that he's trying to flirt with her, or she's just ignoring that shit as some bullshit, and rightfully so. Like, it is what it is. Like, but the thing is, like, no, but like, you low-key like this nigga, like, you do, and you trying to act like you don't. We all can see it. Like, Barbara over here, like Miss Fairy Godmother, all up in her ear, like, and Ava just like, shut up, bitch. And so like this dude is like all up in her face when he find out. So wait a minute. So when he find out about the computers, at first he was gonna tell her, but then like he saw how the kids was liking them and all this other stuff, and he felt kind of bad. So then he came back a few days later, and he thought about it and stuff, and then he gonna come and call her, like, cause he want to talk to her. He's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And she was just like, who? And he was like, you. And I was like, yes. He put a little bass in his voice. What? And then like, what happened was he got her over the desk. No, he didn't. Shut up. Something's wrong with me. So yeah, she was sitting at her desk, and he was like, where'd you get the computers from? And she was like, I'm not gonna tell you, nigga. And he was like, well, if you don't tell me, I'm gonna have to assume they stolen, and I'm gonna have to tell the district and shit. And she was like, fine and shit, nigga. And so she tells them that they, was a bribe from the country club people. They got free computers and shit. I think that's gonna come back and bite them, but it may not, because they're trying to keep this shit like kind of at a level of wholesome where not too much drama happens to like ruin everybody's life and shit. So it may not happen, because I expect the other shit to happen in the other seasons too, but it's just kind of like fizzled out, and like people just left them alone after a while. Like, we ain't heard from the charter school people again. It's just like, okay, maybe the charter school and the gentrifiers will come together and kick them out the neighborhood. Some stupid, I don't know. Anyways, so like he was like, I'm not gonna tell nobody, but this is what we gotta do. And then he was getting all into it, and I was like, yes, daddy, what do we gotta do? No, that nigga was taking charge. And I was like, yes, take charge, nigga. Like, Ava liked it too. She was just like, wait a minute, don't be talking to me like that. I don't. Why you? Shut up, bitch. No, and then like when he tells all the teachers like what to do, like to contact his office, it was just like, first of all, she was looking at him crazy because he had glasses on, and she was like, oh, he has glasses on, and why at the end, after he had his little conversation with her, she had her glasses on? Shut up, Ava. Ain't nothing wrong with no glasses. That is the mask that you wear, and if somebody can see past it to your beauty and shit, they're number one. It's disgusting. Anyways, Cree Summer's still in this motherfucker. They got her returning as a librarian and shit. She turning up the heat and shit, had him take his jacket off. His arms was big and glistening and shit. He's a nice looking man. He wasn't a bad looking man. He was a little Shamar Moore looking nigga and shit. A young Shamar Moore. And so like Barbara clocks that like Ava might be liking him and some shit, because she started humming it's not as good as it gets, whatever the fuck that movie was where they kept calling her ugly just because she was wearing glasses and shit. I was just like, what are you talking about? Oh my gosh. No, I felt the the gaslighting when I watched that movie as a kid. I was just like, what do you mean she's ugly? Like, I kept trying to squint. I was just like, where is the ugly? The bitch looked better than a lot of the other bitches that was making fun of her and shit. And I was just like, is the ugly in the room with us? And where is the ugly at? Like, she didn't even have to have a makeover. Like, she looked fine. Like, I was so confused I'm still confused every time I watch that movie. That's why I don't watch that fucking movie. Say humming the song to when she walked down the stairs in her little prom dress and shit. And then Barbara clocked her humming the song and shit because he took his glasses off or whatever. And she was just like, I don't even like him. He dorky. He poor and shit. And when she said poor, I was just like, is he poor or is he just not wealthy? Because IT people, they got a range of pay. Like, you can get some that's in like the 40, 50 range, and you can get some that's in like the 128,000 range. It just kind of depends on where they land. And if you got 2 six figures in the house, that's half a million. And so, and he also looks like, he likes himself. And so there's potential there to give him a little push. And now he owns his own tech company. No, I know a nigga with potential that will actually do what I tell him to do when I see one, okay? Usually them niggas already kind of halfway or 75% there. And then you come into their life and you just like, maybe you should try this. Maybe you should boom, 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 boom. You don't even have to be aggressive about it. You just like hitting that shit and you see, I see this on the television. What is this? And maybe if that sounds interesting. What do you think? And then you finesse it to make it just like Ava said. You make them feel like that. Then you make a memory that didn't happen, and you make them believe that shit. You make them feel like they thought of the idea themselves, because niggas like to feel, they don't like to be full partners and shit a lot of the time. So there's a little modicum of them that still likes to feel that they thought of this shit all by themselves. And sometimes you got to cater to that insecurity by going through the back door and just being like, oh yeah, you're so smart. Oh my gosh. Oh. Even though you're the one that gave them everything. And that's how women have been running rich niggas since the dawn of time. And these rich niggas don't even get it sometimes. They don't even realize that but when they do get it, when they do realize that, like, there's this movie that I watched, and it was, so it's this movie from like the 1960s, right? It's called What a Way to Go. And basically it's this woman that she's marrying. Like, every time she gets married, like, the dudes get really obsessed with their work and with money and things like that they eventually forget about her. And they get so obsessed that they basically burn themselves out and their businesses fail or they end up dead. And I think all of them ended up dead, actually. They burned themselves out till they died. And so the woman is made to feel like she's unlucky in love and she can't marry nobody and all that. And I'm just like, no, that's not how I took that shit. I took that shit as you are the lucky charm. And they're not seeing the lucky charm that they have that has been, implemental in getting them money and getting them success. And they lose sight of their lucky charm and they focus on the material things. And that's how they end up fizzling themselves out and dying, because the lucky charm is forever. The material things are just adornments. They're just jewelry. They're not the real substance that you need to be paying it. So the more you pour into your lucky charm, the more greatness you will get. And that's what I was just like, bitch, I'm a lucky charm and shit. So the dudes that actually do pour into their lucky charms and exalt their lucky charms and things like that, they're actually the biggest winners of them all. And And so you just know when a dude is, you can pour into him. And he's the one of them niggas that I feel like you could pour into and shit. And he would probably end up being a billionaire if he wanted to. He got the hustle mentality. He's already got a decent job. He got a degree in some shit. He got his shit together. What's stopping him from going to the next level? Now, if I get a nigga that don't want to go to the next level, well, but then I wouldn't be talking to you. If I didn't feel that, and I didn't sniff that hustle mentality out of you, then I wouldn't be talking to you. Why would we just be stagnant in everything? Like, just for the fun of it, I just want to keep growing in certain areas. Like, just for the sake of doing it because it's fun, and you just over here like, I'm fine with this stuff and things and life. And I'll just be like, okay, honey, yes, I do want to eventually retire to a cottage in the woods in Hawaii somewhere. But it's like, even when I retire to a cottage in the woods in Hawaii, bitch, I'm going to have hobbies and activities that I do to maintain maybe it's just me being an Aries. It's just, I always need to be moving and shaking and doing something that makes me feel joyful. Like, I'll take naps. I love a good nap. But like, after a while, I can't be sleeping forever and shit, nigga. Like, so it's like, I need you to have a little bit of that in you, just a little bit. Like, you could, like, I'm not gonna pressure you or nothing. I'm just like, you need to have a little bit of that, like, movement in you and shit. Like, cause I wouldn't want to be pressured. Cause there's times when I don't feel like doing none of that, and there's times where I just want to sleep for a week and not be bothered and shit. But usually it's about a week. That's max. Like, even then, it's like maybe 3 days. Cause after a while, I'm just tired of being in the bed every single fucking day. This shit is boring. But like, you have some of that in you, and like, you can tell what nigga do, and I feel like this nigga do. So he ain't rich, but like, he ain't poor and shit, nigga. Like, he was used to ballers and shit, ballers, shot callers. And so, like, I understand wanting what you want, but if there's room for growth and there's a willingness to grow, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like, I want what I want. Like, if you start off like I matched with a nigga on Hinge last week, and I felt bad. I felt guilty. But then I really thought about it, and I was just like, I don't need to feel guilty about this. I matched with a nigga on Hinge last week. We was talking for a couple days, back and forth, whatever. It was about, the conversation wasn't necessarily there the way I like it to be there. But he was a nice person. So, I was like, maybe I'm just, this is on the computer. So typing back and forth can be, messes up the intent of the conversation and whatever the fuck, whatever. I tried. I really did. And then we get down to him asking me out for a date, and I was just like, I'm 37. Look at here. I'm 37 years old. I don't want to do as a first date, like other dates, I can do fun shit, like other types of, dates and shit. Like, I want to be wine and dine. I want you to see me as worth taking out and going out to dinner and getting to know me in a nice environment. Because that's what I like. That's what I want. And no, it's no guarantee that a nigga is going to be the one just because he wined and dined you a little bit. But it starts off on a good foot. It starts off on a good foot, and I like that good foot, and I don't want nothing else but that good foot. And so this nigga asked me out for coffee or tea, and I really sat there because I know other women that will accept a coffee or a tea and shit like that, and they will be fine with it. And I just kept looking at it and getting more and more disgusted. And I was like, is something wrong with me? Maybe I just, and I was like, no, I deserve better than this. I don't want to go. And then I was just like, well, then I wrote back, I was like, I prefer dinner, but I guess I'll accept a tea. This nigga gonna skip over me saying anything about dinner. Not even bring it up and just be like, well, are you a morning person? Because we can go get some tea. I hope you're a morning person. Some shit, something stupid. And I just fucking shit pissed me the fuck off. So you're just gonna skip over me mentioning dinner. You're not even gonna be like, well, I just want to kind of get to know you first before, like, even that would have been an acknowledgement of what I said, whether good, bad, or neutral. But you just completely ignored it. And maybe it's because I said I preferred that. Well, I guess I'll accept tea. Maybe that was what. No, nigga, like, I unmatched. I didn't say anything back. And I just unmatched for what? Like I give myself dinner and shit. Why the fuck would I be around? I've talked to you enough for you to know whether or not you think I'm worth something better than that. And obviously you don't think that I'm worth something better than that, and you doubled down on it when you didn't even mention anything that I said. So I don't have it. That's not what I want. And I just kept thinking, this isn't what I want. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. And then I unmatched because I just don't feel like it. I don't fucking feel like it. And the thing is, I had to acknowledge and be okay with that. I had to be okay with that. That's just not what I want. Like, I'm a little traditional baddie. Like, I like some of the traditions. Now, will I do untraditional things as I get to know you and shit like that? Yeah, I will. But for me, I want it. I want the traditional romance. I want the roses. I want all of it. And if you're not that type of nigga, well, it shows off top. Like, I'm not accepting less. And so I got it where she was coming from. But the thing is, it's like, this nigga ain't poor. You're calling him poor because you, as a principal in a school with a school district that barely pays your school any money, you ain't getting paid what you think you deserve. But when it comes to IT departments and companies and shit, like, these niggas is like, this is tech. Like, they do a lot of different work. They pay them a little bit more money and shit. And so, he's not rich, but then there's room to grow with that degree. So I'm not going to off top be like, oh, no, you're not, a movie star. Like, no, at least just match me. Just match me. That's all. Let's start there. Match me. I don't want a little bit beneath. I want, it can be a shit. If a billionaire want to come along, the door is, as long as he's emotionally stable, because it's not all about money. You gotta be emotionally stable, especially when you have money, because money makes people that are manipulative and abusive think that they can just wild out and do whatever the fuck they want and lock you in a basement city that they built for you to stay in for the rest of their life, while they periodically come downstairs and impregnate you with your basement babies. Shit, I've thought about this. I have. And so, be emotionally stable and, decent and kind and all that other shit that you're supposed to be a decent human being. And then show me what's above and beyond that, because that's basic. That's what you're supposed to be. But anyways, like, I got it, but it's like, he ain't poor. Like, he ain't, girl, you just talking shit. That's all, because you don't want to admit that he got your girlhood all a tremble. That's all. You just nobody watch Hey Arnold. No, that's some shit Helga says when she's at her Arnold altar, and she's sitting there in front of her Arnold altar, and she just goes, "Oh, he makes my girlhood all a tremble." And that's when you know that Nickelodeon was on some bullshit, because she's a smooth 10-year-old and we don't need to, just because it's a cartoon. And it's like that cartoon on Netflix with them kids, and they got vaginas and penises and stuff, Big Mouth. And it's like, something about that just don't seem right to me. Something about that seems kind of kiddie pornish to me. Like, it does. Like, they won like 3 Emmys and shit with a whole 12-year-old's vagina drawn out and singing a fucking you don't think it's weird? Like, nobody, 20 years from now, 10 maybe, the way shit's going, 10 years from now, all that shit is gonna be called out as some weird ass shit. It's weird. The 12-year-old's vagina was singing and talking and shit, and then the 10-year-old nigga was like nutting everywhere. It's what's going on? Why is this winning 3 Emmys? No, it's like that show on Hulu with them 2 girls, and it's called Pen 10, and basically they're really adult women, but they're playing like they're teenagers in middle school with like real middle school age children. And there's like just some scenes that you just sigh and you just be like, well, some adult ass, this is a little 12-year-old boy. Like, they be talking about how they having crushes on the other students and shit, and it's literally a 12-year-old boy. And I just, girl, And he just be like, girl, like, no, it's just like Borat. See, we brought it full circle. They be trying to get us. They out here. No, nigga, I was laughing at fucking Nazi propaganda and shit, and I thought it was hilarious, and now they burning them babies over there, and I hate it. I hate that nigga put me in that position to be laughing at that shit, and there was that he was making fun of them Palestinian folks over in that country that they stole from them people. And now you trying to make them look like these monstrous ass people that hate the Jewish people and all that. There's Palestinian Jews. What are you talking about? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I don't know. The world is a horrible ass place. So these little moments of reprieve is just magical. So I appreciate y'all watching, and I hope you enjoy, and be the lucky charm, and don't let no nigga make you feel like you're not. Like, oh no, that ever since I seen that movie, I was just like, no, bitch, she was bringing color and life into these niggas' lives. Like, they were all depressed and impoverished. Like, one nigga was literally living in a shack in some mud. She came into his life, and he ended up with like some Mervyn's type franchise store that was like making hella money, and he was getting hella rich, and then he forgot about her and started overworking himself, and then he had a heart attack or some stupid shit. Like, what? You don't see the correlation that this shit happened when this bitch came into your life and was giving you a little bit of ideas, a little bit of you don't see that. And she kept saying, I'm just so unlucky. I am so unlucky. Bitch, no you're not. No you're not. You're the luckiest bitch out here. These niggas are stupid and not seeing the lucky charm that they have. No, Ava would boost that nigga up to the top. That nigga would be Steve Jobs if he listened to her. Shit. She know about computers. He know about computers. I love that giving her a love interest. She needs somebody too, bitch. Everybody needs somebody and shit. Even Jacob. I hope they give him a nice little white man. No. I hope they give him a nice little... Stop giving him these people of color. Knowing that he fetishizes these people, like he's obviously fetishizing these people. Give him a nice little white man that will teach him how to be white and stay white and stop fetishizing people. How about that? How about you? Stop making it up to Gregory to always have to tell him to shut the fuck up. Whatever, nigga. Whatever. But yeah, this was a good episode, and I hope you enjoyed my review. And later days.